Hello, all, and welcome as we have another video with Neo Anderson as we're going to be discussing a topic that we feel it's pretty important. And along our journey, I can tell you it's very important because this topic determines whether you are actually a seeker of truth or a seeker of religion. And my definition of that is religion is good. It can protect you and help you. But once you find a religion, you're stalled. Your spiritual journey has stalled. Now that don't mean that you can stay there. I mean, Neo, if you heard on his last video, and me, both have stalled and learned, and it's not a bad process. But the moment that you start accepting dogma and history as fact, you have a problem. And Neo, I'm gonna let you introduce our topic today, and welcome back, Neo, today. Bring up the topic that you want to talk about today, sir.
Hello, Mike. Okay. I was thinking about that topic because I had a conversation with Jews and also those that are unbelievers. That they were always saying that nobody of those prophets existed.
Right.
Uh, there was never Exodus. For example, atheists will say there was never Exodus. Moses didn't exist, Jesus didn't exist, and Jews on the other side they will say Jesus didn't exist,
Right.
Muhammad didn't exist. And I find that this is something that can mislead us. When we are focusing ourselves to this stuff, we forget about the message.
Right.
And this is all what is important for us, to be focused on that message, not too much on messenger.
Right.
And messenger is okay when you can take a lesson from his life. You can learn from his mistake, you can learn from his victories. And that can inspire you to elevate your soul, and it is good. And like you said, religion is good if you are able to perceive the darkness in the religion, in the religious books, and to divide. But if you are not able to do this, if you accept everything only because it is written in some book, and only because it says so said the Yahweh, or in this book there is no mistakes, only because it was written like this and you believe it is true, then it became a problem. And
Right.
for me and Michael, we was before also in religion, and like he said, it is not bad, if that is if give you progress, if you are progressing with this, to go step further. And step further is to understand that there is no perfect book. If you want something perfect in this world, you will not find it.
Nope.
But the first step is to understand that there is nothing perfect here, and that you need to search the light in those books, and that you can find the light in all of those books, the messages. There you can find that you can find good messages, and you can find those messages that are that make you confused. And this is where you need to stop and to say, okay, I will now, skip this because it make me confused. It is contradicting the other things. It contradicts the logic. So I need to choose for myself. And it is very important for us not to be focused on that, question. Are those characters, was there real, or or they existed? That is not important.
Right. And I want to add here too, Neo is not talking about pick and choosing like many people do to justify their lifestyles. You'll find many people who want to participate in stuff that maybe, but they'll use their scripture to justify, oh, you see, I can do this. We're not talking about pick and choosing for our benefit. We're talking about elevation of our soul and
Yes.
the good righteousness and good deeds and stuff like that. So, in no way is Neo talking about pick and choosing so that we can sin or sleep with other. We ain't talking about any of that. We're talking about the elevation of our souls, not the justification for sin, which you see so much going on around us in this world today.
Yes. So I what I mean is, when we read the books, we can find, for example, kill them wherever you find them. uh, and I don't know what. And then you come to verse when the verse says, fight only with those guys that fight you, but you are not allowed to fight them first. So between these verses, you need to choose the verse that go with the intellect, not pick and choose because you want to sin, like you said, or you want
Right.
to justify your dogma. Not
Right.
at all. We are this is exactly what we are doing. We don't want dogma. This is the first step if you want to be honest, because the honesty is the first step for you to find the truth. And
Exactly. Exactly. And I'll interject here also. My one of my quote heroes of knowledge and understanding would be Enoch. And the first thing you'll hear is people say, "Oh, we don't even know if he even existed," and he didn't write the book of Enoch, and and the thing is I don't care, Neo. I don't care if
of
he ever
course,
existed. I don't care if he was a person. I know the knowledge that is attributed to him and from him has helped me on my journey. But that's the first thing you seem to hear when you bring up the Book of Enoch. Oh, you can't trust it and all this kind of stuff. Or if you say the Zohar, oh, the Zohar was written, all these naysayers, and they're missing the point, Neo. They're trying to justify a historical name and documentation, and they're forgetting the wisdom that's within inside of these books.
yes. Yes, and there is also, if you remember, there are also guys that will say, you know what, the Bible have two gods there. One is good God and the other is evil God.
Right,
They it seems to me like they present the duality, and this is also misunderstanding. You know, uh, we need to understand that there is only one source. And if there is something like for example, I call it darkness. Maybe somebody call it differently, but I call it darkness. So if there is darkness in that book, it is all the will of that source. If
right,
he didn't want this, it will not be there. So
right,
what is, it is also foolishness to be focused on this thing. We need only to recognize that there is darkness there, and we only need to divide the darkness from the light.
right.
Because how I get it, like I also spoke this in your previous show. As I understand it, it is only a test, a trap. Because there will always be a person that will search for such a things. In the books,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yes,
And the thing,
to
and
justify his sin
right,
or his beliefs.
right. And the thing is people get hung up. People don't understand attributes, or like when who start learning Kabbalah or something like that, and they see the tree of life and they see the 10 Sephirotes, they automatically
Exactly.
wanted to start to divide. Oh, there's 10 different 10 different gods or 10 different, and they don't understand the attributes or the manifestations of this oneness that we're talking about. Yes, we know that,
Exactly.
we know pagans with the Norse religions and stuff like that, but a true Norse practitioner does not believe that, they do believe in Thor, but they believe these are representations and things needed to help you in your life to increase your journey. Not that they're, that you and even in Hinduism, they don't understand Hinduism also when they see these attributes are parts of where you're working on your life. And so yes, the oneness is definitely because there's only one law, one God, what I'm saying in that aspect, but we have many attributes and people get hung up on that and they can't accept it. Even within Judaism, there's a fight of whether there was actually angels or whether there's a lot of problems when you start speaking truth that people cannot accept it because their dogma will not let them accept that understanding.
Yes, I remember. I remember when I was in Judaism. They were teaching me how angels, they don't have free will, and this is also why what I was learning. Uh, Wait a minute. So, do you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Better.
hear you.
Okay. Islam also teaches me that the angels don't have free will. And then when I was reading those books, the information actually says something different. You
Right.
see that they are actually they have free will.
Right.
In the Quran, for example, you have this subject where the God, say to angels, what, I will create, human being, and then they were like, you why will you create this being, he will shed blood and he will do mischief on land, but we are worshiping you like it's supposed to be, we are glorifying your name, and they don't think about this at all. How can one that have no free will, how can one say uh, give answer question, how can one question God if he have no free will, he
Right.
can only say okay, I mean, do you understand, and not, why would you create this and we are worshiping, why will they say we are worshiping you like you want to, like it's supposed to be,
Right.
we are glorifying your name, because they want, they like how I see, they wanted this, because God said, I will make him, to be a representative on the earth, and
Right.
they didn't like this. They want this role, they
Right.
wanted this role, and they still say, what, those guys, they don't have free will. They are robots, and for
Right.
me, it is very, confusing what they are teaching.
Well, it is, and then you get to the conflict of, like you said, we started the show. Uh, Neil, I appreciate your view and everything like that, but we have no true documents that Muhammad wrote anything, and it says that he was ignorant and couldn't write, so his words are not proven because we can't even prove Muhammad, or like you said, the same thing about Jesus. We can't even prove he existed. So, and they're missing the whole point of the journey because they're trying. And I found same thing about this with religion. And me and you kind of spoke on this last night a little bit. The fact is we always want to go back to what we think is the first, the original, the beginning. And the understanding is we will never understand what Christianity in the first century was like, or Judaism in the first century was like, or even Islam in the 700 or 800. We'll never understand these things. So why do we
Yeah,
dwell on trying to rediscover this dead stuff instead of just taking the knowledge that we learn from these eras and keeping on with our journey? That's what I don't understand.
exactly. Because what I am seeing is that they are just blind with this dogma. Dogma puts you in box, and you are not allowed to search anywhere else. And if you ask questions, then they will say, you are not allowed to ask those questions.
Right,
but for example, if you say, and angels have free will, they will say, okay, you are out of Judaism or you are out of Islam. You
right,
cannot believe like this.
right, right. Well, see, I noticed a bunch of your posts that you have on Facebook where you quote these books, and you seem to irritate a lot of people because it's not so much the message they disagree with, but it's the source of oh, this book has been channeled, you got to be careful with this stuff,
Yeah,
or this book has no, we can't verify any of this, when in turn, as you said at the beginning of this interview, we can't verify any of it. So why are we hanging out in that waiting room when we can just take the knowledge that we're reading and edify our lives? Why can't we just do that?
but Mike, you know what? I was asking them, simply question to I was saying, what? Explain to me, please explain to me how they received the Torah,
Right,
how they received the New Testament, how they receive all of those books. What is the meaning of channeling?
right.
What can you explain for me what is the meaning of channeling? You know, and they don't have answer for this, and they say, okay, but the prophets, got that message. Yes, but how do you know that it is the message from the creator,
Right.
because those beings, can give a message, all of them, not only the good beings, the
Right.
bad also, you don't know, you just don't know, you believe, because you cannot prove anything.
No.
The only stuff that you can prove is if is this is good, in accordance with our understanding, in accordance with our logic, or our system, that qualify something as good or bad. You can choose for yourself, but you
Right.
don't know. You will never know.
Right. Which is why we have such a increase within atheism in this world today, is because, as we talked about last time, it's easier just to give up than to continue the search, or just take what is easy. That's what I don't understand. Just take the sources of that inspires you and helps you grow. Use that and don't worry about what people says. But like I said, we're not talking about nick and picking to where you can live any lifestyle or do whatever you want to. No way that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the edification of your soul. If Shabbos brings you and your family joy, by all means, do Shabbos. If prostrate
Yes,
prayer helps you get closer to yourself, to the inner, God within you, do it. But don't
yes.
don't judge and get mad because other people don't see it the way that you do.
Yes, exactly. This is my point. And I always say, I'm not there to, to offend somebody or to attack somebody books. I just want to point some stuff that are there, for me, my example, I am just searching, in those books, that what I can, prove with, how do you say, to prove something with the facts,
Right,
with the facts. If
right,
I can prove, and those are my basic, and those stuff that I believe, because all of us, we believe in something, because we cannot prove, and this is what beliefs mean, something that you cannot prove but you believe.
right,
For example, like I said in your previous show, I said that you must believe the life after death. You never saw it. It
right,
doesn't matter if that is reincarnation, or you believe in judgment day, or you believe in hell and heaven, in reward and punishment. If that is logical for you,
right,
you just believe it, because I simply, I cannot say your belief about this is wrong, because I cannot prove this.
right,
But that's what we can prove. Let us agree on this stuff what we can prove.
right. And if it's, and if it's bringing more light, why would we disagree with that? I mean, the thing is, if it's bringing more light and freedom and drawing us closer to more of loving God and loving our neighbor, which is basically what we're doing here in the first place. We can't
Exactly.
love if you're not loving your neighbor. There's no way you're loving God. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do that. So it's a dual process in the fact that if you don't learn how to help humanity, feed the poor, these simple things, but yet you claim you have a relationship with God, there's definitely a measurement problem there. And I think that's what these books try to point us to, is, if as James says in his book, faith without works is dead. And that bothers a lot of people. Oh, you can't be saved because of works and stuff like that. Well, obviously, if you are not doing what's supposed to be done, you are not living what you're supposed to be living.
Exactly. And here in Germany, for example, uh, people believe in karma,
Right.
and if you think about this, you cannot offend somebody and do injustice to him, and that you can wait now, that you have blessings, and I don't know what. You
Right.
must receive this what you gave.
Right. Right. Well, the will of karma, as you're talking about, is the fact of the matter is you're not going to ask, and this is just Christianity and it's not picking on it, but you can't ask Jesus to forgive you of all your sins and expect all of that karmatic energy. I mean, even if you read the story of Paul, whether you like him or not, and or David, the fact is the end of their life was pure hell. I mean, they had to pay for the karmatic stuff that they did before they
Definitely.
believed, because the fact of the matter is you're going to weigh that karma. You're going to pay for it one way or another. If you're a murderer, a thief, yes, you're probably going to wind up going to jail for a long, long time. Even though you're a believer, then you still got to pay for what you've done. And that's what a lot of people
Definitely.
can't understand.
Definitely, and a lot of people don't understand, how repentance works.
Right,
You cannot just say, I am, sorry, and kill kill Jesus, kill a lamb.
right,
No, no problem there, and I will be forgiven.
right,
No, this is not how it's supposed to be.
right.
You need. repentance actually, teshuvah or
Yes, Teshuva.
tauba in
Yes,
Arabic. Yes, it actually point to something that you change your direction.
right.
You return back. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole, you're talking about Teshuva. I'm also thinking about, faith or Amuna. The fact is,
Emunah.
it's not just believing like in a fairy tale, like a child would believe maybe in Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy or something like that. It's a knowledge. And once you get into these books and you start experiencing this stuff, you start seeing, hey, there is something to this. It's no longer a just faith, it is a knowing. I know now that there is a creator, and it drives me more to seek him and to seek him who he is. Okay, so we are running out of time here on my Zoom. It says
Okay,
it
it's at
says
the end of
running
the
out of
video.
time. So we've
At the
got
end of
10
the
minutes.
Okay, excellent. At the end of the video, I just want to, mention to you one story from before when I was a Muslim.
Right,
I heard one story of one Sufi guy, and he said, you know what, there was a Sufi, the old Sufi. He, lived in one town, and he had one guest there,
right,
and when this guest was in his house, he saw that that Sufi doesn't have furniture and doesn't have uh, anything there, and the guest said, where is your furniture? Where can I sit? And the Sufi master said to him, where is yours? And guest
right.
said, what are you speaking about? I am only guest in your house. And he said, I am also guest here in this world.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
what I want to say with this, it is a story, that guy maybe existed and maybe not. But what is important? It is the message.
Right,
What is important?
right.
Okay,
That
that's
is
it.
that is right. And that's what we wanted to bring to you today. Don't get hung up on this history and trying to prove these people exist or not. Who cares? Is the knowledge
Yes,
good and to bring an edification to your soul and making you a better person? If that's what we're looking at, we look at things in a totally different way than being negative and trying to disprove everything.
exactly.
All right, sir. Well, we thank you for this time, and we will be getting together soon with another topic. But till then, Neo, say goodbye to him.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day. Until next time, see you later.